But Mr. Ceesay, I appreciate you, and we all understand, democracy. It always conflict, individual rights and public order. We get that. But Mr. Ceesay, as I said, with all due respect, I heard you in one of your answers. You mentioned particularly Kerr Fatou and Bora, and I have to answer this. I have to ask you this question for the record. The CEO of Kerr Fatou mentioned your name in particular, said she has evidence that you instructed some of the SOEs, state-owned enterprises, to terminate her contract, to terminate Kerr Fatou's contract. And is this true, Mr. Ceesay?
Look, I equally am aware of the statement of Madam Fatou Toure, and at standards when I was asked. No such instruction exists. I have media SOE, managing director. The managing directors are there to speak for themselves. And if this order exists, it's not true, and I am not aware of being ordered by the president or by cabinet to do so. But what is equally true is that Kerr Fatou is actually on controversial propaganda tool of the opposition. They have been saying so many things about government, which is definitely wrong. Government to patronize you and pay for actually misinforming and mischaracterizing government agenda. I mean, it never happens anywhere.
Okay.
So if the truth is if the truth should be told, no one is have directed me, nor have I directed anybody regarding the statement that he made, and I have openly said so.
Mr. Chief of Staff, I'm really, really, really concerned. I'm really concerned on that last statement, saying that a media house went through the right channels, applied for a license because they have a dissenting voice, that somehow you are branding that media house as an opposition propaganda tool. Can you give us references in what instances and what measures have you taken to measure those as a propaganda tool? Because I tell you what, we all own the Gambia. Things that we disagree vehemently about Jammeh's dictatorship tendencies. If we see many people from the government using such rhetoric, we need to push back. And I'm pushing back on that rhetoric. With all due respect, Chief of Staff, I want you on the record to show us examples whereby this particular media house, and it's not just one, two, three, that they are propaganda media tools for the opposition.
Look, I invite you to visit their forums, their shows, and the records are there. I'm just not saying this out of context, and I'm not saying, I mean, there are certain things that are said in there that are actually either not found, not true, they have no evidence or are factual. So if those things, instances happen, what do you expect us to call it out? I mean, I'm just being truthful here. So I mean, I'm not anti the platform in any way, but I am just calling it how it is. I mean, say or expect me what do you expect me to do? To just accept it and.
Are you there, Mr. Ceesay?
Sorry?
No. Is that the end of your answer? That's what I was asking. Because you break up. We couldn't hear the last part of your statement.
I am somebody have picked a license to register as a media platform, and I'm labeling. You want me? I am saying what I am saying, and I'm saying go look at their records.
Okay, well, I'll let the viewers make that decision, Mr. Sameh. But I think as the chief of staff, and they commend you as very media friendly, I think there's an opportunity here to forge alliances and forge partnerships. Because one thing you want to do is have you on the record branding a media, and when you cannot substantiate, because I ask you to substantiate, I'm not going to go look at the record because I'm a close follower. I haven't seen anything for the record that says otherwise. They are propaganda tool for the opposition. But with that, Coach Pasambajo, you can ask the question.
Yes, Mr. Ceesay, I have to follow up on that. In fact, I was really taken aback by it because the Constitution of the Gambia is very clear in that it gives Gambians the right to freedom of speech and dissemination of information without hindrance. And the Gambia being a signatory to all various international instruments, such as the Banjul Charter, Article 9, or the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 19, all these instruments give that right. And this is a government that likes to portray itself as being democratic and open, but has a problem with media houses that gives opinion that are not very friendly to that of the government. But I want to ask you this question. Has Kerr Fatou ever denied any government official an opportunity to appear in any of their programs to set the record straight? Because as far as I can remember, they have invited various ministers and government officials to speak on government policies and programs. Mr. Ceesay.
Well, Coach, like I said, our responsibility as government is to promote the media space and to support the media to be professional and to carry out their work without due pressure or hindrance. That's the principle we all uphold. But like I said, a record speaks for itself. I am not saying this. Out of the blue. I am just saying, yes, it is being claimed that government officials, senior government officials, have been invited to come to Kerr Fatou and they turn it down or whatever. I have never heard of that. I have no evidence that a senior government official or ministers have been invited to that forum and they then go, but who do you have in that forum? 90% of the time. So I mean, all of that. We basically said, look, I mean, say it as it is at the moment until this is as such. But for now, this my view. And like I can be proven wrong. And when we do, we would then form a different opinion.
Mr. Ceesay, I just Sorry for cutting you.
in forging partnership with any of the media.
I just want to push back here and say, by your assertion, you have wittingly or unwittingly confirmed the assertion made by Fatou Toure. Because the only thing that you did not own up to is that you made that directive. But what you have alluded to here is a position that the government holds, that this is a medium that is here to spread information that is not in favor of the government. Because to me, my deductive reasoning brings me to that conclusion that whatever Fatou said has been proven right. She may not have been right as to who gave the directives, but such a directive was given because this is a popular view held by the government of Adama Barrow that this media house should be sidelined in as much as giving them advertisements, because all they do is give platform to those that give this information about the government or the opposition. Am I wrong?
Coach, you are talking to me. You're not talking to the president. You're not talking to the government spokesperson. I mean, I have expressed my view, and I am saying you asked me a question, and I tell you that it is not true, and then I give an opinion. So, to what extent that you can deduce and reach your conclusion that you have not said, I mean, it's the imagination. I am repeating myself. I am saying the allegation of Fatou Toure is not true. I was not ordered. He said I was ordered. That was a specific statement. I was ordered to issue order. SOE. Produce it. Then if it doesn't exist, I mean, I'm not in sometimes. So, but I am not aware of it. That's what I made. That I said. Then and he's complaining that we are stopping her contract simply because he's considered as a government anti-propaganda. So, and I am saying, if that is he was saying that, and I am saying, of course, if you go by his record, that is exactly what is it.
All right.